Julia said, my name is Renzo Soto. I am the finance manager in COOPEUCH, where I have been working for the past 9 years. Before that, I spent 10 years in the local bank, also in area of banking management and treasury, which has allowed me to develop a comprehensive view of the importance of funding structure and financial institution. Before I am starting, I must apologize for my voice. Because we are in the middle of the spring season here in Chile. I suffer from season allergies, so my voice might sound a bit funny. So I'm sorry for that. And for the other hand, I only have 30 minutes because I need to attend another meeting with my CEO. So I may not have time to answer questions, but I'm happy to stay in touch via emails if you'd like to ask anything, please feel free. So we focus this presentation in international funding, and I will first like to provide some context and rationalize it on why it is crucial to maintain long-term and diversified funding source. I will start now. Financial institution, cooperative also must have a solid and sustainable financial plan to ensure the structural funding base over time. The balance sheet of a financial institution relies on both short and long-term funding sources, and therefore it is essential to ensure the stable assets are funding by stable liabilities. And that is the equation. And I call that structural liquidity, and must be carefully monitored to adapt the financial strategy according to institutional need and the market dynamic. So we're looking for take care of the stable asset are financed by the stable liabilities. That is the core of the strategy. This is an example present of it. This is the case of COOPEUCH. We have a loan portfolio, partially funded by the retail deposits and our capital. If you can see, we have consumer loans and mortgages, and we have for the side of liability, retail, time deposit, but it's not enough to cover all our loans. So making it necessary to issue long-term bonds that ensure the structural funding of both the loan books and part of the financial assets are funding by the stable liabilities. Short-term funding is allocated to short-term activities. That is our mandate. That is to preserve the balance over time. It's important to diversify funding source across the product tenors, market, and investor, of course. The funding diversification in my view, is a key, the pillar of financial management. For COOPEUCH, participation in the international capital market enabled to geographical diversification, which brings substantial value to the overall strategy. The diversification provides a lot of benefits for us, reduce dependence of the domestic market, and mitigating the local liquidity risk, So because we not depend only the liquidity, the Chilean liquidity market. For us, it's important also expand the investor bases, so providing the guaranteed funding, stability, and flexibility. And that to access the international market, we can access to the more investor than the local market, of course. Chile is a very small country. We are 20 million people. That is our population. So our capital market is important, but it's not enough to guarantee the access for the funding access. So in the local market, as a domestic investor, recognize the institution has alternative funding source abroad, so you are no longer hostages of your local investors. So they create a lot of opportunity in order to reduce the interest rate for your liability. So access to international market is a opportunity. You can take the opportunity to finance to have better performance and a reputation. And let me show you the how we can access to the international market in COOPEUCH. Sorry. Because you know better than me your local market, so I will talk about the international market. To access the international capital market, there are several approaches. One option is to carry out standalone bond issues, preparing the documentation for each transaction, and you have no problem. You can do it in this way. But it's more efficient alternative. Establish a medium-term note program. The medium-term note program is a framework that you can register a standard legal documentation in an international exchange, and use this framework for multiple issues. You can establish this MTN program in a lot of geographic. You can establish in the United States, Mexico, Europe in general, or Asia. COOPEUCH should establish the MTN program in Europe. We have a European medium-term note, EMTN, which define the framework by English law. So established by the English law, and you can issue bonds in a lot of different geographic areas. We issue bonds in Switzerland, for example, and Japan, and looking for financing in Japan, Middle Asia, and in Europe in general. So what is the benefits of this program is lower legal and administrative cost, because you prepare the documentation only once. When you establish the program, you prepare the documentation, and from this framework, you can issue bonds in several geographic areas. So this is guarantee the flexibility, because you quickly you can take the market the opportunity to issue some bonds. If you issue bond by a standalone bond, you need a lot of time to prepare the documentation. From the MTN program, you can you establish the documentation so you can react quickly in order to take the advantage the market opportunities. With the NTM program, and you access a simultaneous access to the multi-billion region, Europe, America, Asia, under a single legal structure. This is the benefits to establish an NTM program. And the initial setup can take more time. For us, take about 2 or 3 months, but the annual renewal is very quick. In 20 days, you can renew the programs and have the program activated to issue bonds or whatever you want. For how many times I have? To establish an NTM program requires the coordinated participation of several actors, and each with defined roles and responsibilities. We need a range bank. A ranger bank acts as a financial advisors. So they help to establish the program and administrate the program in the stock market. And the rangers can act also as a dealer bank. Dealer bank is the bank that have access to the investor in some geography. And ranger banks have to act as a dealer bank also, but you can have more than one dealer bank. So you for example, COOPEUCH case, UBS is our ranger bank, whilst UBS and BNP Paribas act a dealer bank in Switzerland. Or Daiwa Bank is our dealer bank in Japan. So we can access to both geography with a different dealer bank. And you also need a legal advisor because the program is a legal structure. So you need a legal counsel in the jurisdiction of the program and this in your home country. That is a complement. Is working with your legal team. For example, we have established our program by English law, so we have lawyers in London. We have a consultor in Santiago, and they both team work with COOPEUCH team. So this is the more important part of the established program. And of course, the auditors play a crucial role because certifying the financial statements. It's included in the program documentation for transparency for the investor, of course. So this team have to work together with your finance team to establish the program, and after that you have the relationship with a dealer bank. That is the way that the MTM program works. And of course, once the MTM program is established, the institution can proceed with the bond issue under the program framework. The process involves both internal decision-making and the market execution phases. Internal approval is very important. Before issues, internal approval must be obtained, because when you give the execution order to the dealer bank, you have to proceed to issue bond, except if the price is very high or you can the demand is not there. But you give the execution order to the dealer bank when you have sure to ensure that you have the approval so that the investor take the company seriously. And after that, the dealer bank looking for the investors and the dealer present the transaction to the potential investors who analyze and evaluate the credit proposal and book building a bond. And then conduce it to allocate the investor order. That is the process works. And in our case, because we work with Chilean pesos, we need to hedge this transaction with the derivative because we work with the derivative by the hedge accounting process. So we hedge by the cross currency swap and to transform the currency and interest rate. So we will take the derivative handle. We pay the local currency, and the derivative pays the international currency to the investor. But this is not part of the MTN program. This is after the bond issues. And so, in conclusions, the funding for us is strategic tools that enable to cooperatives and financial institutions to protect, project, and support their growth. Funding management must consider balance sheet liquidity, interest rate condition, and most importantly, structural liquidity. The structural liquidity represents the ability to maintain a sustainable match between stable asset and stable liability identified, and we need long-term funding for that. Diversification is important across the product, maturities, market, and investor, and it's important, in my point of view, reduce risk, avoiding concentration, and achieving more competitive funding access. International market access provide this kind of opportunity to reduce this kind of risk. The investor base is larger in the international market, are more competitive funding, and provide flexibility to navigate geographically concentrated market stresses. And finally, my presentation, MTN program offer an efficient and flexible platform for recurring issues. Also, standalone international issues are possible. MTN program reduce legal and operative costs, offer the opportunity to quickly take advantage of market opportunities in international market, of course. So my presentation was faster than I think. So I have a few minutes to answer question if you want. If you understand anything, because my voice, I'm sorry, I'm really sorry. I feel so bad.
Thank you very much, Renzo, and thank you for making the effort today. I hope you feel well soon. Indeed, let's benefit from the few minutes that we still have with Renzo to ask some questions. You can also ask the questions on the chat. So feel free to raise your hands or to ask some questions if you have for Renzo. If not, maybe I will ask a question. It's more from a leadership perspective, Renzo. What will be the governance practices to better support this decision to diversify the sources? And at the same time, how is it current with the cooperative principles?
This is to diversify the product of finance is important for our membership. It's not. Let me search the word. Is oh my God, I forget my English. It's not a.
We can help you if you have the word in Spanish.
Contradictorio.
It's not contradictory. It's not opposite. They're not opposite.
Opposite. It's not opposite, because you offer the products of this, or for investing, your time deposit, current account, etc. for your membership, and it's not a competition with this kind of funding sources, and this is strategic because you need diversification. The financing that came from the people is not enough to finance it all the operation, and in order to have a health institution, you need long-term financing. So it's not opposite to maintain your spirit of cooperative spirit and take that kind of opportunities.
Thank you. Thank you for your answer. With what you said, maybe I have another question. You were talking about growth and making it happen. I will align this with the word innovation. So within COOPEUCH, how do you foster a culture of innovation in the funding side and also daring to be in contact with the international landscape? You were talking about Japan, you were talking about correspondents and lawyers in London. So how do you promote this taking, I would say, the risk or taking the step outside your comfort zone to ensure, and at the same time ensure the risk management across your organization, across your leadership, the strategic decisions? How do you, what is the culture inside COOPEUCH then for that?
The culture in COOPEUCH is very conservative. So, but our institution needed to try to disconnect with the local market thinking. In Chile we have a little problem. The cooperative system is not very no. Oh my God. It's not
not very well known.
It's not. The investor don't know very well the cooperative system. I know that in Europe it's very common, but in Chile it's not. It's not. We are the biggest cooperative credit union in Chile, and the second one is 15 times lower than us. So for the investor, it's not easy to evaluate our cooperative. But in Europe, in Japan, it's very common to have a cooperative system, and the international market offered the opportunity to give us the financing in lower rate, and that movement from us give us the opportunity to tie with the banks with the same rating in the local market. So that is not an innovation for the bank system in Chile, but was very innovative for us as a cooperative.
Thank you very much for your answer. Very interesting. Thank you. Would someone else have another question, maybe for Renzo, or would like to write it on the chat? Otherwise, we are in our 33 minutes. This is the spirit also of a spark. So if you all agree, we can also free Renzo for today, for you to take a good breath before your meeting with your CEO. Please send him the greetings from CIBP. And to all, we will send you the presentation of today, and you will also have the email address of Renzo, should you want to have a one-to-one conversation with him on topics that are relevant in your own organization. So with this, Renzo, thank you very much again for being with us and for your time, and hopefully we see each other on another occasion. Who knows, next year. Thank you.